So let's talk a little bit more about Nintendo fan projects, that sort of stuff. We're not really talking about the Nintendo takedown of the remake of Metroid 2: Return of Samus, because there's not a whole lot more to say than what we already said about the Nintendo Power stuff. They have to protect their IP, and as awesome as the Metroid 2 remake was, not a whole lot more to add.
You're not shocked.
Kind of the same topic.
Yeah.
Pokemon Uranium was a fan-made Pokemon game that had been in the works for quite some time. Finally got released, I think not even a week ago, and reached more than 1.5 million downloads.
Jesus, and it's an RPG.
It's Pokemon. It's a Pokemon fan game. Plays.
Looks like what would you say? It would look like a DS era game.
Yeah, it looks like a DS era one. Graphics are very nice. Has 150 unique and original Pokemon.
Wow. That,
I think, is something that I need to stress for what I'm going to say a little bit later. So this is Pokemon Uranium. By all accounts, it's very, very good. I might see if I can creatively acquire a copy and play this a little bit. Looks like a lot of love was poured into it. Couple interesting things about this. The first is that the people behind it, or person, the creators, the people behind it, took it down not because Nintendo contacted them, but they saw what was happening with the Nintendo Power situation. They saw what was happening with the Metroid 2 remake situation, and they decided that rather than wait for the inevitable to happen, they were going to take their own game down. Basically, they took the downloads off their site and have been hands off about whatever any other sites are doing with the game.
Sure, that's cute, but once it's online, it's going to get redistributed everywhere.
Well, sure, and that's what's going to happen with the Metroid 2. That's what's happening with the Metroid 2 remake. It's just like those Nintendo Powers aren't disappearing anywhere, aren't disappearing into the ether. But it's probably a smart move on these people's part to take it down before Nintendo even sends them that letter. What I find strange about this is if you're going to go through with this and essentially make a tribute game, you're going to make 150 unique Pokemon of your own design, and essentially just ape the format. Why not tweak a couple things, eliminate the Pokemon name, and release as a fan game? And while you don't have the Pokemon name attached to it, why not just let your game be successful on its own? And if haters want to compare it to Pokemon and say you ripped Pokemon, well, too fucking bad. You made a good game. And my number one, the reason this upsets me, and I'm not mad at these people, I wish they would have maybe taken a different route to it, because this looks great, is you look at a game that was released a year and a half ago called Freedom Planet. Now, I don't know if you know about Freedom Planet, but fairly big indie game. Really big indie game, in fact. It got a Wii U port. Freedom Planet started as a Sonic the Hedgehog fan game. Okay? And as they were making it, people were like, wow, this is really high quality. And I think they realized that perhaps they could run into some trouble.
Sure.
So they changed the characters. They made their own characters. They made their own story, their own enemies, their own levels. And what they did is they basically made this Sonic the Hedgehog tribute game, this game that plays a whole hell of a lot like Sonic the Hedgehog, but they slapped their own name on it, changed just enough, and released Sonic the Hedgehog under a different name. So I don't know why they wouldn't have changed just enough things and made it just different enough that they could have made, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that they could have put out their project without fear of reprisal. Because it looks like they put so much effort into this, and it looks really nice, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, you can clone games, you can ape games as long as you're not using the trademarks. You're not using the assets. That's what I don't know. Are they using game assets from Nintendo?
It looks like they mimicked the art style very well, but I did not really notice them using assets. And the assets they could have been using, if they were using Pokeballs and stuff, make something different.
That's what I was gonna say. change the shape or color of the Pokeball. Make it a fucking, I don't know, pick like Jack's, make it something like that. I don't know. Don't use the name Pokemon anywhere.
Yeah.
Name it something generic.
Trap them in gems.
Yes, exactly. Remove any reference to that, and people would still say, "Wow, this is a Pokemon game."
Right.
It would be totally legal, and they could have put it on Steam and gotten 1 million downloads. People would have paid for it too.
And it would have been just.
They could have
fun.
started their own series potentially. Hell, maybe they still can get around it. Maybe they can. Maybe they just go back. But maybe Nintendo's going to be like, "Fuck you," though, because you already put this out, though. Yeah, you're right. It's a shame that they couldn't foresee that people would have downloaded this either way. They could have said, it's inspired by Pokemon. They could say that in the fucking description of the game, and that's still fine.
The only thing I can think of...
Or homage to Pokemon.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is, like, there have been tons of really crappy Pokemon clones out there. Tons of free-to-play crappy Pokemon clones that you can get for your phone and stuff like that. And, my only thinking is maybe they didn't want to be associated with those. But by outright saying you're making a game called Pokemon Uranium, that doesn't automatically mean you're not going to fall into that trap. Sure. You have proven you got your 1.5 million downloads by showing progress on your game, by showing that it was looking like quality, by showing people that this was something that was going to grab their interest. You could have done that without using the Pokemon name. So I don't want to sound like I'm scolding too much.
No, I'm not scolding. I just think it was short-sighted.
Yeah.
Because they could have promoted this for the first, let's see, there was a trailer out July 1st. They could have even said Pokemon, inspired game and gotten 1 million views and just said, but guys, it's going to be called this. This was the name's going to be. And maybe that would have been okay. And this, like I said, remove Pokemon, no text that in the game at all. Change the shape and color the Pokeball.
Call it Uranium Monsters. I mean, any of these things.
Whatever. Come up with your own cool name. But that's the thing. It's like when you get into that, if you're talented enough to go write your own story, create, you said 150
unique new Pokemon.
Take one step further and be creative enough to then remove it from that IP.
Right.
That's to me the easiest part. And then hell, you could have started a new maybe independent game company at that point with your whole offshoot line of games. Who knows? Mm-hmm. $1.5 million. I'm not saying they all would have paid for it, but hell, if only 100,000 of those people paid for it.
I don't think they were even charging.
That's my point, though. Imagine if they put this on Steam for like $10.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
And sell 100,000 at $10.
Yeah.
You have a studio. You have return on your investment, and now you can come out with more games, for people. And now it's all maybe not for naught. People are going to enjoy it, but all right. Or else maybe Nintendo can say, "Oh, we're going to put this out," but Nintendo probably won't do that. Nintendo's not going to license it. No. They don't like. So that would open up a Pandora's box for other people.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.